What's up everybody, I'm Jesse Showalter, and today's the kind of day I feel like designing a little something. So if you want to design a surfing website alongside of me, then maybe stick around because that's exactly what we're going to be doing.
This is part 2 of the series where we've been designing a surfing website, and in part 1 we focus mainly on design decisions like color, typography, and layout, and in this second part we're going to be carrying over those decisions to our secondary page.
I'm really excited. I always love taking something from nothing to something, so that's what we're going to be doing, making something. Okay, so jumping right into part 2, I think a good thing to do would be to take a look at the work that we did in the previous video, see what we think of it, and see if everything's gonna make its way over or if anything is missing. In general, I'm pretty happy with it, so we are going to now take the next steps of applying some of these styles over to our next artboard, and we'll see where they go. What are things that we can apply right away? Most likely the lines and the header and the copyright, we can apply all those things. So I'm just gonna apply those things over here. You can see these lines aren't actually reaching the bottom of the page. So let's drag them all the way down and then let's lock them back up. Okay, so far, so good. We have our header. I wouldn't mind locking that on each of my pages as well. And we are now going to start digging in, and we're imagining that somebody's clicking on see trip details and they're getting the article about that trip or something. I'm not 100% sure what this website is actually for. It's some sort of online magazine, I would think, a blog about surfing or surfing trips. So, okay, first things first, we want some sort of like user confirmation that they've clicked into the right place. I'm gonna take this hero item and just copy it. I'm gonna come over to my new design and I'm gonna just paste it right in there. And so what I think I'd wanna see is almost a little bit like a modern web application where you click on something and there is just a nice fluid transition between the two states. So first things first, I don't think maybe we'll need that. Let's move all of our typography down. Let's take our photo and let's make it much bigger. So to do that, I'm gonna go full screen with the photo like this, and I'm gonna drop that behind. I'm gonna make my photo really big, and then I'm gonna mask it into my photo. So let's just grab the two and we're going to mask them just like so. Let's do that. But then also I had this idea for these like grungy kind of texture. And so I wanna drop that in and see what we can do with it. So here we go, here's our grungy texture. We are just gonna do it like that, and we can stretch it out because it doesn't have to be perfect. So we have our nice texture and our photo in there. I'm gonna take all of these things, I'm gonna get my text out of there, out of my hero. So now I just have the hero item is this thing. I'm gonna drop my grunge texture into there so it's all connected, and then I'm gonna move it up. Let's just move it up and almost kind of centering, you know, this line. We can think about if we would unlink our header. It needs 40 pixels on each side, okay? So let's just kind of center it there. So we no longer need to see the trip details like this, but we might need to go back to the previous page. So why don't we just do a simple back to like posts kind of page, or back to the home page kind of thing. We're gonna take this and just give it that sub headline style, and let's take our borders and give it our kind of color like this. We'll flip that thing around. That's really easy. I'm just gonna zoom in so you can see what we're doing here and just line it up to our grid. I actually really like this this like visible grid because it allows me to work without necessarily having to do this. That's kind of nice. Okay, next up, I think we could ditch the timestamp. That's just a personal choice I'm making. And let's take our text here. And do we want it to be as big as the homepage text? Yeah, why not? Because it's kind of like the nice big headline right here on this page. I like it left aligned. Let's grab some text from our other page, some body copy, and we'll do it like so. Okay, so we've left aligned our text, and now I just want to add some more text and make this like very much like an article that you can read. So I'm gonna just kind of paste in some typography that I had elsewhere, and I think we're gonna have to stretch our page down just a little bit, okay? So when we do that, I don't wanna adjust the content on resize, I just wanna bring everything down. I'm going to find my, let's see, where do we have everything here? My copyright, and just bring that way down. My lines, I'm gonna wanna stretch all the way down to the bottom of the page. And then I'm just gonna wanna reveal, our grunge effect should not be there. We doubled it somehow. Okay, so now all I want to do is also bring that typography all the way down, kind of revealing the article a little bit more. Okay, that's good. So far, so good. I think we're just kind of trying to space it out accordingly. We also want to bring some of the other elements, and sometimes this is where shared elements across pages, they don't have to be consistently displayed the same, they just have to be consistently available, right? It's kind of like a UX pattern that, like, for instance, like our social media links, we'd want those to be here, but on the home page, we're trying to share like the entire page, whereas over here in our article, so to speak, we'd want to make sure that that's right in context of the initial article so people can find it. So I'm thinking we just pop over here to our article page, and let's see, do we need to put it above or below? Maybe we need to go here and just drop this down. I'm not really the biggest fan of putting social media links above the article itself, because it's kind of asking people to share this link or share this article before they've read it. I'm not a big fan of that, so personally. So maybe let's try something interesting, and let's maybe pop our text over, and then let's realign our social media links so that they are always anchored to the left of the article, maybe like as you scroll down the page. I want to lock my lines so they stop getting in my way. And I'm gonna take my social media links, and I'm just gonna make sure they're all left aligned and distributed as even as possible. Okay, great. So I have my social media links, and now we can bring my article up to match it. I might drop these down below just a little bit, offset them just a little bit. That's what I really love about magazine layouts and editorial stuff. That's where I actually started my career, and I really love it because it's not so much like stacking things on top of each other like an HTML document. There's a lot of play with how you kind of like lay things into the grid. Things should kind of move out and be a little bit more fluid. There's a little bit more experimentation there, and that's what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to experiment a little bit. Let's experiment with some different text styles. So maybe we need to add one of those fun block quote styles that we made here. Let's do that. We're just gonna zoom in and let's just paste it here. So again, we could do it like this, but why don't we have some fun? We'll just pull that block quote all the way out. Let's give it just a little bit more space like that. And we can drop this block quote right in there. Now, as you're reading, it's like this block quote kind of just like pops back out into that sidebar. I really, really like that. Let's do that with an image too. Some sort of fun thing with an image. We've already put our big main hero image, but maybe we would put like something like this, like an image. Whoops. Put an image in there, and maybe this image, let's look at our grid. Here's where we get real like fun again. Maybe this image just folds over there. It doesn't take up the full grid. We have this thing masked so we can kind of like do it however we want. Maybe it takes up that part of the grid, but not the full grid. Or maybe it takes up 10 out of the 12 columns in the middle, and it's kind of like center aligned like so. So as you're reading, it kind of pops out of the kind of measure of the typography. I like that too, big fan. So that's really, really nice. We could go on and on and on with this and add different styles. Like, why don't we come in here really quickly and we'll just say, we'll take this piece right here and we will use our link style, right? Do we need to underline it? Maybe not. I kind of like it like that. Let's just add another little stand-up paddling. Let's link that. Let's take our link style. We're just showing different text styles throughout the project. I think we could even go a little bit more, and let's work our sub headlines in there as well. So we're gonna take our copyright and just make sure that's still down at the bottom. Let's take this same text and duplicate it and bring it here. We don't need that much of it though, but let's say we just needed a sub headline. So let's grab our sub headline, pop it there like that. I'm just gonna drop it down over our text. And do we want to continue to keep that same style? Like maybe center align it? or do we want to left align it? I don't know, it could be either left aligned or center aligned. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know, like, what's your thoughts? What's the right kind of move here? Personally, I don't mind this. I think the spacing could get worked just a little bit, and I feel like that looks like a really nice, fluid, coherent article. All right, last thing that we didn't use is our surfboard, so let's just copy that and let's find a spot for it. Maybe we would just paste it in right here. Let's bring up our grid, and we would just kind of shrink it down, and this is kind of like a nice element to have over here on the side. Maybe that's a good reason for us to kind of cramp the actual body copy down, so we can fit fun elements over here to the side of it. This looks really cool. Like, as soon as you see this page, all of a sudden you have a lot going on. I feel like that's okay. I feel like that's not a bad thing. Well, looking back, it's not a perfect design, but it is a coherent design, I think. I think when the user kind of lands on the home page, it's really clean, it's elegant, it's legible. They can click on a certain area and be led to that article. In real life, we'd probably want to come up with some ways down here at the bottom for them to continue navigating onto other trips or other articles, easy ways to get kind of to and from different areas. We'd want to build out the rest of these links and what do those pages look like. But overall, I think we were able to establish a style here, apply it, and then reapply it, reusing all those styles throughout. We're already creating a consistent look and feel as we go. That feels really, really good. Well, that's it. That's building a surfing website from start to finish. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I do lots of design walkthroughs like this one, so maybe stick around. I hope you guys are having an amazing week designing amazing things, making amazing things, and taking things from nothing to something. I'll see you in the next one.